Aside from the physical aspect of learning how to release the bowling ball, I think a huge part of it also is a mental barrier. So, here are 3 ways I would have shaped my way of thinking differently trying to learn how to bowl one-handed. The first mistake was trying to hook the bowling ball instead of roll the bowling ball. In the early stages of bowling for a beginner, introducing the idea of rolling the bowling ball instead of hooking the bowling ball would allow bowlers to have an easier time visualizing and developing the feel for the release. But to be honest, rolling the bowling ball is actually really hard to do when starting off. Your wrist feels weak, you don't understand the technique, and on top of that, you are trying to figure out your body mechanics and a ton of other things all at the same time. When we release the bowling ball, we should make it a priority to get the thumb out first and then follow through with the fingers. Thumb out, then fingers. Thumb out, then fingers. Say it with me. In my other video, I talked about flicking the thumb to help put emphasis on clearing the thumb out of the bowling ball. Treating that as a separate event will help you get your mind to tell your hand to do the right thing. I know it's easier said than done, but like I say, you gotta believe that you can do it. The more you see it and do it, it'll become second nature. Just that movement alone is a concept that has to be understood proficiently and is the foundation of having a really good release. When we hear the term hook the bowling ball, it's almost as if we are trying to force the bowling ball to do that action. When we hear the term roll the bowling ball, it has more of an easygoing connotation, and you are allowing the bowling ball to be the bowling ball and roll off your hand. Having awareness of what your wrist, fingers, arm, and body is doing is overlooked, and not paying attention to those details could be the reason why you're not seeing any progression. Whenever you are practicing, make it a conscious effort to establish and maintain a good mind-muscle connection with your release. You should ask questions like, at the point of release, was I behind the bowling ball? Where were my fingers at? What direction was my forearm facing? Okay, well, on the next one, I'm going to make sure that I keep that forearm facing forward, and I'm also going to post the shot. As your release gets better and you get really comfortable, you'll be able to mess around with different hand positions and have more versatility as a bowler. The second mistake was not trusting the fact that the bowling ball was not going to fall off my hand. Early on, I think there's some trust involved with holding on to the bowling ball as a beginner, which is why we squeeze, and once you get past that mental barrier, everything will start to connect. It definitely takes some time to find that feel, but your ball should fit like a glove. It should feel just right. Whether it's in the beginning of your setup, after the push away, during your swing, or right before you release the ball, there's a level of uncertainty that you feel that you might drop it. Because we have that uncertainty as a beginner, that makes you think you have to squeeze the ball, and that's where we run into trouble when it comes to the release. When you have that bowling ball in your hand, you should feel confident that the ball is going to stay with you until you decide to let go. Also, good things happen when you trust the ball to not fall off your hand, because that'll allow you to relax your hand, trust your swing, and have a successful exit of the thumb hole at the point of release. Remember, the bowling ball is an extension of you. You are the bowler, and the bowling ball is a bowling ball. As the bowler, you are to transfer energy created by you to the bowling ball, so that the bowling ball then transfers that energy down the lane until it hits the pins. The third mistake was giving up too early. You can't rush the process, and you gotta give it time. In one of my other videos, I talked about creating a relationship with you and the bowling ball. If you want to get good, then you need to spend more time together and get a feel for each other. When you're not at the bowling alley, you can practice your release by rolling your bowling ball into a sofa or a beanbag chair like I have here. I would even suggest taking your thumb out, set up like a two-hander, and just practice rolling it. Do it a couple times and really feel the entire surface area of the bowling ball. Be the ball. As I've mentioned before, one day it'll just click. You'll go practice one day, you'll have your coffee, you'll do what you usually do at the bowling alley, but then you decide to do one thing differently with your release. In your head, you tell yourself, you're gonna put more emphasis on this, or say, maybe I'll think about doing this instead with my hand. Then boom, 400 plus rev rate, well maybe not that fast, but now you're on your way. If I were to go back and learn from scratch, those are the 3 things I would have told myself early on to keep myself motivated and headed in the right direction of learning. To be honest, when I first started, I wanted to see the big hook down lane just like everyone else, and I wanted the results fast. So I took the easy way out after about 2 months, and that's when I went two-handed. Then after about 2 years, I decided to learn how to bowl one-handed after having an epiphany one day, and now I'm here sharing my journey with you. I actually never thought I'd learn how to bowl one-handed, but the best way to accurately describe my own journey is like learning to ride a bicycle with training wheels on. When I bowled two-handed, it taught me how to go through the motions of bowling and get comfortable through footwork, timing, and how to release the ball. When you ride a bike with training wheels, you also have to go through the motions and get comfortable. You learn the different mechanics involved in riding a bike, how to pedal with your feet, the positioning of your hands, and how to steer. You develop spatial awareness and you try to balance yourself. As I continued to learn and I got really comfortable with bowling, that's when I decided that I could take those training wheels off and I was ready to commit and learn to bowl one-handed. On top of that, it was also kind of a thing that I wanted to prove to myself. And now, I believe everyone has the ability to learn how to develop a really good release. You gotta trust yourself and you gotta trust the process. Keep it up, and until the next one, peace.